Hailing back from the days of Medarot DS back in 2010, it is KBT10 Gun Nose with the kit of Napalm, Power Rifle, Mega Gatling, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Assail, which grants shoot boost effect to self when charging metaphors. Now, Gun Nose honestly is a rather unconventional and rather lesser known member of the KBT family, but all the same, he is still absolutely packing the heavy firepower and definitely is willing to make his place known among the ranks as the high-powered shooter that he is of the iconic KBT family. Napalm is a little bit of a deviant compared to most other conventional KBT kits, but still a gunpowder skill all the same. But instead of it being an explosive AoE and damaging all parts equally, in this case for Gun Nose, it will actually damage one part normally and two other parts at random as a scattered AoE on the target he is attacking. Power Rifle is a stronger version of the conventional rifle that gets a times 1.5 damage bonus when attacking the enemy as long as Gun Nose's legs are intact. Of course, at the drawback that he cannot defend or dodge or defend until he finishes his cooldown. And then, of course, left arm of Mega Gatling is, again, much like Power Rifle is to Rifle, a stronger variant that gets the times 1.5 damage bonus, once again, as long as Gun Nose's legs are intact. However, of course, with it being the scattered AoE at the higher damage, it does leave him open to being able to defend hits, but just not dodge them until his cooldown is finished. And of course, with the leg ability of Assail, which actually rounds him out pretty nicely, as it basically does grant him the shoot boost effect to self, which is the roughly 20% damage bonus to shooting-based skills once the effect is triggered and live on the field for him. Now, honestly, anyone that's seen Power Rifle or Mega Gatling really doesn't have to look too far compared to other members of the KBT family. Jhuk has it, Arcbeetle has it, and Gun Nose honestly is no exception to the high power that he offers. The only real weakness that Gun Nose does have kind of hurting him is the fact that he is a little on the sluggish side when it comes to his overall mobility and stats across the board. Now, his overall damage, I'd say is roughly, between his arms at least, is relatively comparable to, say, Arcbeetle in this case, and because his arms also are non-heavy, that does give Gun Nose very good flexibility across the board when using his parts, whether as mixed parts or as a pure set, pretty much with the same kind of performance across the board. As a pure set score, I do honestly have to rate Gun Nose a very solid 7 out of 10. Despite being a higher power and higher artillery KBT type, he is still packing a pretty solid sense of balance across the board with himself, not just with his armor, but also with his base power and his heat cool. The only major weakness, like I mentioned, is the fact that his mobility is a little on the slower side, which will make using him as a pure set just a little bit tricky if it's something where pure sets are allowed. But he is a fantastic kit to make use of all the same for folks that, say, wanted Arcbeetle or Jhuk, but have not had the chance to pull either, such as, say, joining late or missed their banners. Gun Nose is an absolute perfect stand-in for both of those, as his arms are pretty much the same as theirs and operates the exact same. That being said, for that exact reason, as mixed parts, I would rate him much higher at an 8 out of 10. Even though Napalm does have its selective use, and his legs probably aren't the greatest out there when compared to other KBT types, the biggest charm to Gun Nose, of course, is his arms in this case, as you generally will never ever be able to go wrong using Power Rifle or Mega Gatling in this case, like I said, since they are especially non-heavy, and the fact that as long, of course, as you can cover for the no dodge or no defend weaknesses and cooldown, they are very solid conventional parts you can make use of on your dedicated shooter, whether that be your auxiliary shooter or your shoot nuker.